on though?
Yeah, we're on.
All right. Shalom.
Shalom. Yeah, Shalom Shabbat for everybody.
Shalom. We're the Hebrew Israelites coming week in, week out to prophesy the downfall of Esau's kingdom, to prophesy salvation unto the elect of the people on this sign, the 12 tribes of Israel, and to prophesy destruction to Babylon, which is America. So before we get started, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto YAHAWAH, bahasham, YAHAWASHI, bahasham, we're going to give double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS who have taught us this word and teach us this word today. And salutations unto those of you, the hopeful elect, listening and learning, hoping to make it up out of here. So to start off, we want to get into these 12 tribes, jumping into Genesis chapter 49 and just going through each tribe, how we know who they are. Let's just go ahead and you can go ahead and read it out.
This is Genesis 49:1. It says, "And Jacob called unto his sons and said, Gather yourself together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days."
Right. So this is basically a prophecy that's being given unto all the 12 tribes in the last days. And we're in the last days now. So it's going to go through and give all the prophecies that's going to happen to each of the tribes. And based off of these prophecies, that's how we know which tribe correlates to who.
Gather yourself together and hear, ye sons of Jacob and Reuben, thou art my firstborn, my might, and the beginning of my strength.
So Reuben's name is Ban, which is it is a son. Reuben was the firstborn son of the nation of Israel. And Reuben, as you can see on the sign, are the Seminole Indians. Now, can you read that verse again?
Reuben, thou art my firstborn, my might, and the beginning of my strength. Mm-hmm. The excellency of dignity and the excellency of power.
God, that's the spirit that the Lord has put upon the Reubenites. He's given them excellency of dignity. Even when you look up pictures of the Seminole Indians, you can see that spirit on them, how they would dress. They would keep the fringes on their clothes. And even today, Reubenites have that spirit of dignity.
Can you expound on that?
What
do you mean by dignity?
Well, dignity, Bible Shah, can we get that the definition of the word dignity?
Get the word dignity in the etymology line from circa 1200, state of being worthy. Old French dignité says dignity, privilege, honor, worthiness, worthy, proper, fitting.
God. Well, for example, when the Americans when Esau came over here and was going to war with the so-called Indians, you had some of them that would try to make peace treaties with the enemy, but Reuben, they wanted to go to war. They didn't want anything to do with Esau. That's an example of that dignity that they had. They held themselves in a high regard to where they were going to fight back. And that's the spirit that Reuben has to this day, because Reuben is one of the warrior tribes of Israel. They fight. They have that sense of pride in themselves. If you brothers have any precepts or you guys or any points, Baba Kushab, feel free to interject.
That's pretty much it. It says honorable place or elevated rank, gravity of countenance. Then part of the word dignity, which the Greek goes in the deck, it says to take, accept. Then it goes into kodine, dainty, decent, decor, decorous. That's pretty much it. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. And that goes into, like I spoke about what they would wear. They would wear very expensive clothing. Like their clothing would be made out of buckskin, which is very expensive. They they would their apparel was nice, you know, for lack of better words. But we can go into the next verse.
Unstable as water, thou shalt not excel.
Now it says that they're unstable as water because the Seminole Indians were a nomadic tribe. As a matter of fact, the word Seminole means runaway. But when it goes on, it says that thou shalt not excel. Now, the Reubenites were the firstborn son of Israel, which means that they had the birthright. But if we read on in that verse,
it says, unstable as water, thou shalt not excel, because thou wentest up into thy father's bed, and then defilest thou it, the couch.
right? The Reubenites, well, Reuben slept with his father's wife or his father's concubine, and so by doing that, he lost the birthright, and that's why it says that he wouldn't excel, you know. And another thing that it means when he wouldn't excel is when he went to war with the Edomites that came over here. They defeated the Seminole Indians. Yo, but is that
Verse 5, it says, Simeon and Levi are brethren.
Right. So now we're going into Simeon and Levi. Simeon is Shammaiwan, which means affliction heard, and they are the Dominicans. Levi is Loyah, which means join unto me, and they are the Haitians. Now it says that they're brethren. We can read on.
Yeah. Simeon and Levi are brethren. Instruments of cruelty are their habitations.
Right, so those instruments of cruelty is talking about the witchcraft that they practice, such as voodoo, such as the religion of Santeria, these different forms of witchcraft that they practice even today. Now it talks about them being brethren. The Haitians and the Dominicans share an island together, which is called Hispaniola. You have you have Haiti, which is on the west side. You have the Dominican Republic, which is on the east side.
O my soul, come not thou into their secret, unto their assembly, mine honor, be not thou united.
Now it says, mine honor, be not thou united. And what that means is that the Lord put a spirit on the Levites and on the Simeonites that they would have aught with each other. And as we read on, it's going to show why they have that spirit against each other.
For in the anger they slew a man, and in their self-will, they dig down a wall.
Now, the reason why they did that, when you read their sister Dinah, it was their sister Dinah, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Their sister was defiled by a man named Shechem. And so through their own self-will, they went and slew Shechem and his entire city, which is something that they weren't supposed to do. And for that, they were cursed. You know, since they shed that blood, the Lord put the spirit on them that they would have with each other. So you have a history of that island that they share, Hispaniola, to where the river that separates Haiti from the Dominican Republic is called the Massacre River, because they would massacre each other. As a matter of fact, there was a point in time where the Dominicans slew the Haitians by the tens of thousands for the pure fact that they were just Haitians. Just like you know, the Lord put the spirit on Jacob and Esau, the nation of Israel and the Edomites, that we have aught with each other. Well, the Lord did that between Levi and Simeon.
So you had made a point. You said that they slew that whole city, and they weren't supposed to do that. Why weren't they supposed to do that?
Well, because in biblical custom, even though Shechem defiled Dinah, there was a certain amount of money that he was supposed to pay to make Dinah his wife. And so, you know, Shechem wasn't going off by doing what he did. But since Shechem was a heathen, and since it was their sister that he did it to, you know, it was a personal ought that they had against Shechem, so they went and slew him anyway. When really Shechem wasn't going off, you know.
Well, let's get to scripture. Because, I mean, all you said was right, but there's some that you left out.
Okay.
So let's just get the scripture for clarity.
This is it's Genesis 34 and verse 1. It says, "And Dinah, the daughter of Leah, which she bare unto Jacob, went out to see the daughters of the land. And when Shechem, the son of Hamor, the Hivite, prince of the country, saw her, he took her and lay with her and defiled her. And his soul clave unto Dinah, the daughter of Jacob, and he loved the damsel and spake kindly unto the damsel. And Shechem spake unto his father Hamor, saying, Get me this damsel to wife. And Jacob heard that."
So he did, you know what I'm saying, take her, but he wasn't just going to, like, take her and then just, like, throw her away. He actually liked her. Go ahead.
It says, "And Jacob heard that he defiled Dinah his daughter. Now his sons were with his cattle in the field, and Jacob held his peace until they were come. And Hamor, the father of Shechem, went out unto Jacob to commune with him. And the sons of Jacob came out the field when they heard it, and the men were grieved, and they were very wroth, because he had wrought folly in Israel, and lying with Jacob's daughter, which thing ought not to be done. And Hamor communed with them."
Right, because, you know, we are not supposed to deal with the heathen, you know, because the children from that marriage, so to speak, will be heathen.
Show that, and that shows that they had the law too. Just one side note. You know, it says, "And Hamor communed with them, saying, The soul of my son Shechem longeth for your daughter. I pray you give him her to wife, and make ye marriages with us, and give your daughters unto us, and take our daughters unto you. And ye shall dwell with us, and the land shall be before you. Dwell and trade ye therein, and get you possessions therein. And Shechem said unto her father and unto her brethren, Let me find grace in your eyes, and what ye shall say unto me I will give. Ask me never so much dowry and gift, and I will give according as ye shall say unto me. But give me the damsel to wife. And the sons of Jacob answered Shechem and Hamor, his father, deceitfully, and said, Because he have defiled Dinah their sister. And they said unto them, We cannot do this thing to give our sister to one that is uncircumcised, for that were a reproach unto us. But in this time we will consent unto you, if ye be as we be, and every male be you circumcised. Every male of you be circumcised."
Right, and that's where it is right there. They still made a deal. They made an agreement, but they made it in bad taste. We just reading the Bible. So basically, they made a deal in bad faith, and they didn't keep their end of the bargain. They ended up slaying the people,
Right.
and causing more trouble.
Right. Right.
You want to read down to that point?
No, that's good. That's good. We got the point.
Right. So why did you bring that up?
Yeah.
So why did you bring that part up?
You know, I did. And one thing I wanted to clear up myself that I had mentioned during this is showing that they had the law, because, like the brother mentioned, it says you ought not make marriages with the heathens. You know, so you know that's why I wanted to bring that up for clarity.
Okay,
So getting back into it.
yeah. This is Genesis chapter 49 and verse 7. It says, "Cursed be their anger, for it was fierce, and in their wrath, for it was cruel. I will divide them in Jacob and scatter them in Israel."
Right. So that situation that happened with Shechem and them slaying him in his city, that explains why today the Lord put that spirit of that art between the Haitians and the Dominicans, to where he put them on the same island, but they can't get along with each other.
Verse 8, "Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. Thy hand shall be at the neck of thine enemies. Thy father's children shall bow down before thee."
Right now, Judah is in the Hebrew is Yahawah, which means Yahweh thinks, and you see Judah are the Negroes, or quote unquote blacks, African Americans. Now it says that Judah is the one which the brethren shall praise, because Judah is the leader of Israel, and it says that that the enemy's necks will be in Judah's hands. Well, we can read on, so we'll get into that some more.
Judah is a lion's whelp, and from the prey, my son, thou art gone up. He stooped down, he crouched as a lion, and as an old lion, who shall rise him up?
Now it said Judah is as a lion's whelp. A lion's whelp is a young lion, and that's the spirit that Judah had on him at one point in time, and going back into like the civil rights movement, going back into when the truth first sprung up, because we have to pay attention to who brought this truth through the spirit of Yahweh bahasham YAHAWASHI. Abba Bivens, King Masha, High Priest Ariyah, High Priest Yaquab, they were all Judites. Even getting outside of the truth, the civil rights movement, Judah was at the head of that, trying to fight against Esau. But if you read on, it says that from the prey, my son, thou art gone up. He stooped down, he couched as a lion, as an old lion. So over the years, Judah has become docile. Now Judah just go along to get along. It's not the same spirit that was there in the 60s and the 70s.
It says, who shall rouse him up? The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet, until Shiloh comes.
Now Shiloh is talking about YAHAWASHI, because YAHAWASHI comes from the line of Judah. And when YAHAWASHI comes into power, he is going to rule forever. He's going to be the top king, the ruler of everything, right under the Most High Yahweh. And so through YAHAWASHI, through the nation of Judah, they're going to rule forever.
And unto him shall the gathering of the people be.
Right, that's when the kingdom comes. In the kingdom, all the nation of Israel is going to have received salvation once we're all in the kingdom, and it's going to be under YAHAWASHI's rule.
Binding his foal until the vine, and his ass's coat until the choice vine. He washes his garments in wine, and his clothes in the blood of grapes.
Verse 12 as well.
His eyes shall be red with the wine, and his teeth white with milk.
Right, and this is going into the description of how YAHAWASHI drinks wine. He loves wine, as to the fact that they call YAHAWASHI a wine bibber. It also says in his description in Revelation chapter 1 verse 13 how his eyes are as a flame of fire as well. But when YAHAWASHI comes back and gets revenge on Esau Edom, his clothes are going to be bloody as if he was in a wine press. So that's referring to that as well.
We can go to verse 13.
Also, want the Hebrew word for Shiloh, that name, Shayalah, which means he who it is, that which belongs to him, or tranquility. You look up tranquility, it defined as not being disturbed, no disturbance or calm. You know what I'm saying? With us being up under these curses, as the brother's going into with Simeon and Levi, how that's a curse that was put upon them for them to be on the same island and can't stand one another. But through the spirit of Yahweh bahasham YAHAWASHI, our brothers out there who are Dominicans, all right, who are Haitians, and have this truth, have this spirit, they somewhat broken from that, right? Because of this truth. So when Shiloh comes, that's where that peace is going to come. That's where that rest is going to come. That's where we won't have any disturbances. All right, we'll be able to be in our kingdom, man.
Yes, sir.
No, I was just thinking about they should not learn war anymore. There should be not violence within our gates. I was thinking about that. As the brothers made that point, that's it. I know.
Okay, I got a precept. This is Isaiah 63:1. It says, "Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra?"
And that's talking about YAHAWASHI. Like I spoke before, when YAHAWASHI comes back and he gets he gets vengeance on these people, he's going to be bloodied up from the blood of all these of all the wicked.
This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength, that I might speak in the righteousness, might it's like I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. No, just, he's mighty to save. That's what he's coming back to do. Like the brother said, he's coming back with a sword, and he's also coming back to save the righteous men of these people.
And it's going to be in a dramatic fashion, What did it say? Mighty?
Yeah, it says mighty to save.
Yeah, mighty to save. Yeah, is he already, what did he say in Isaiah? I will not meet thee as a man. All right? So he's not coming back like he came the last time, in the flesh. He's coming back in the bodies that we're about to be getting. All right? And he's coming back in full power. Because he, remember when they had him up on the cross and they was like, if you the son of God and bring yourself down, he could have. But nonetheless, he didn't show his full strength when he came. Out of all the miracles that he did, he still didn't show his full strength.
Right.
So now he's coming back with what? Vengeance. All right? Even the scriptures say jealousy is the rage of a man. All right? So if we on this earth can be jealous of things and we can be angry, that type of angry, how much more the one who's coming in full power is not going to meet you as a man, and then on top of that, he's looking for the ones who pierced him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So he ready, That's like you sitting there and somebody knock you out with a bat. You finally come out of a coma 2 years later. You gonna want, you know what I'm saying?
And the thing is, he's waiting right now because only the Most High knows when YAHAWASHI is going to come back. YAHAWASHI is patiently waiting as well. He's ready, like at any second. As soon as the Most High gives him that green light, he's on his way.
And that's the beauty. He knows that he's already going to win. He's just waiting for the Heavenly Father to say, "Go and get him." You know what I'm saying? He's just waiting.
And what proves that is because it said he can't, and roughly paraphrasing, he can't wait to give us the kingdom, but the kingdom can't come until the destruction comes. So that proves that the Lord YAHAWASHI he's waiting on the word from the Heavenly Father, man.
And through the Spirit, if we of those men, Lord willing, we're going to go through that same process. Like we're in the position that the Lord was in, preaching the word, being defamed, taking L's, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Being hated of the world, looked down upon. All right. I was reading in Timothy today, and within that chapter, if I'm not mistaken, it said it like 2 or 3 times about not being ashamed.
Yeah.
Right? Because even the scriptures say a workman who needeth not to be ashamed. Right? Meaning this is what you represent. This is what you in, man. All right. Now it could seem like it's not worth it to most, or even to some who's in it and have left. But we're in that same position, like, because remember, even the Lord was like, "Hey, Lord, Father, take this cup away from me." 3 times. He's like, "All right," but he manned up and was like, "Well, this is the way this is what I gotta do."
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That will be done.
Same with us, exactly. It's all going to come down according to the Lord's will, right? We don't know who we are, who we was. All we know is who we can be if we rely on the Heavenly Father and follow His instructions.
Verse 13. Zebulun shall dwell at the haven of the sea, and he shall be for a haven of ships.
Right. So Zebulun, which in Hebrew, Zebulun's name is Zabalawan, which means dwelling, which is Guatemala to Panama. Now it says it should be a haven of ships. That's speaking about the Panama Canal, and that's one of the most major canals in the world where a lot of transport comes in and out. For people exporting things, people importing things. as a matter of fact, can we look up the Panama Canal and what just see what comes up.
As far as what it goes through there.
Yeah, just whatever whatever speaking style come out.
Shade.
Right, so it says, what I searched is Panama Canal shipping routes. So it says the Panama Canal connects the Atlantic and the Pacific Oceans and is a vital shipping route for goods moving between the Americas. The canal's main routes include. You want to get all that?
No,
Okay.
just want to get the point. Just wanted to search it real fast. But yeah, that's what it's talking about when it says that Zebulon should be as a haven of ships.
And his border should be unto Zidon.
Right now, Zidon is speaking about, as a matter. Babu Kushak, can you get the blue letter definition of Zidon?
When you get the word Zidon, goes into what is this? Tazaya done, which means hunting.
And what does it say?
It says
Right there.
ancient Phoenician city
Right.
on Mediterranean coast north of Tyre.
Now it says an ancient Phoenician city. Now when you look up when the 12 tribes originally had their portion of the land given to them, Zidon wasn't bordered to Zebulon. What that's talking about is when King Hiram, which was a Phoenician, when he would come over here with his men to get supplies, he would put Olmec heads as territorial markers or as placeholders to know where he was before. And so that's what it's talking about when Zidon will be as a border. It's just talking about when King Hiram, a Phoenician, will come here.
Verse 14. Issachar is a strong ass, couching down between two burdens.
Right, so Issachar in Hebrew is Yeshashkar, which means he is hired, which are the Mexicans. Now it says that he is as a strong ass, a donkey, which is a working mule, and if you look at the so-called Mexicans, they're hard workers. They always have jobs like construction, building houses, laying roads, and things like that. You have just like there's complaints that Issachar, takes all the jobs and things like that. Well, that's the spirit that the Lord has given Issachar, that he works.
Issachar being a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
They be in the restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
They're the main people who do all the cleaning in the hotels. They got their hand everywhere. Car shops, a little bit of everything.
Manual labor, man.
Yeah. Verse 15. And he saw that rest was good.
But hold on. We didn't finish 14.
All right, I'll go.
Finish 14.
Issachar is a strong ass, couching down between two burdens.
Right, so those two burdens that he crouched down between is talking about how Mexico is in between North America and Central America. Those are the two burdens.
And he saw that the rest was good in the land, that it was pleasant, and bowed on his shoulder to bear, and became a servant unto tribute.
We can read on.
South America.
Oh, okay, Khan. Well, Slovakia, not North and Central. The two birds be North and South America.
It said that he saw that rest was good, and that the land was pleasant. He bowed his shoulder to bear, and became a servant unto tribute. During the middle of the day, they're known for a siesta, to take that break. At the heat of the day when the sun's the highest in the sky, nobody wants to work during that time. So you take a little siesta. Verse 16. Dan shall judge his people as one of the tribes of Israel.
We can read 17 with it. Oh, sure.
Dan shall be a serpent by the way, an adder in the path that biteth the horse's heel, so that his rider shall fall backward.
Right now, the tribe of Dan, we're not sure exactly what happened with the tribe of Dan, but we know that that Dan isn't accounted within the 12 tribes. We're going to get Revelation chapter 7 later, but when it talks about the 144,000 and gives the 12,000 out of the 12 tribes, Dan isn't mentioned.
What does Dan mean?
Dan means I'm not sure, but I'm not sure. Can we grab that, Babu Shah?
Where Dan goes into says Don, which is a judge.
You have a point. Which one?
No, because I mean you were saying everybody else's name and all of that. So what does Dan mean? Breakdown. But that goes A. It says Dan should be a judge to his people as one of the tribes of Israel. Verse 18 it says, "I have waited for thy salvation, O Lord." Gad, a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last.
Right. So Gad is just God in Hebrew, which is a troop, and it said a troop shall overcome him, which is talking about when Esau came to North America. Salakia, and Gad is the North American Indians. Now, when Esau came over here to North America, Gad went to war with the American cavalry, which the American cavalry, Esau ended up overcoming Gad, and winning that war. So that's when Esau put Gad. That's the history on how Gad got into these reservations. Through the Trail of Tears and things like that. That's that troop overcoming him.
Out of Asher, his bread shall be fat, and shall ye royal dainties.
Right. So Asher, which is Ashar, which means happy, is Colombia to Uruguay. So that's like the north of South America, with like Peru and Brazil and Ecuador and things like that. It says that he should yield royal dainties. And so if you look up like Brazilian food, and Colombia is within that too, right? Yeah, when you look up Colombian food and things like that, you see that they eat well. They eat non-GMO good food, and on top of that, that land is very fertile. A lot of export goes out of that land, such as the sugar, such as coffee, such as different things like that. It's a very fertile land, so that's going into those royal dainties.
Mainly talking about like pineapples, avocados, things like that. GMO is like more later on down the line. They probably got GMO shit in their shit now. That dainty is talking about like those tropical foods that can't grow everywhere.
Naphtali is a hind let loose.
Right. So Naphtali in Hebrew is Napothalia, which means my wrestling, and that's Naphtali is talking about Argentina to Chile. Now, can we read the second part of that verse?
He giveth goodly words.
Right. So those goodly words that's talking about is how Argentina to Chile, they made peace treaties with the Spanish conquistadors, to where you had others of the nation of Israel that would still be going to war with the Spanish. They made peace treaties with them. So that's those goodly words.
Joseph is a fruitful bough, even a fruitful bough by the well, whose branches run over the wall.
Now Joseph is speaking of two tribes. Joseph is the father of two tribes of Israel, which is Ephraim and Manasseh. Ephraim is the forefront because he received the chief blessing. So Ephraim is Aparium, which is fruitful, and Manasseh is Manasseh, which is made to forget. Ephraim is the Puerto Ricans, Manasseh is the Cubans. Now, when getting into Ephraim, it says that they're fruitful, because Ephraim has a lot of children. The Puerto Ricans, they as a matter of fact, it's like I want to grab something real fast. Yeah, actually, it's going to be in the next verse. It's going to be in the next verse.
The archers have sorely grieved him and shot at him and hated him.
Right, so those archers are talking about the Spaniards. They were trying to completely take the Puerto Ricans out, but the Puerto Ricans they were just they were replenishing too fast to the point where you had a couple hundred of them left, but they repopulated because of how fruitful they are with children.
But his bow abode in strength, and the arms of his hands were made strong by the hands of the mighty power of Jacob. This is the shepherd, the stone of Israel.
And his bow abiding in strength. That was that tribe not being wiped out.
Even by the power of thy father, who shall help thee, and by the Almighty, who shall bless thee with blessings of heaven above, blessings of the deep that lieth under, and blessings of the breast and of the womb.
Right, because Puerto Rico is a very fertile land as well. So that land is blessed, just like not Tally, but Asher's.
The blessing of thy father hath prevailed above the blessing of my progenitors unto the utmost bound of the everlasting hills. They shall be on the head of Joseph, and on the crown of the head of him that was separate from his brethren.
Mm-hmm. Which is just talking about Ephraim, Ephraim receiving those blessings coming from Joseph,
Yeah, it's more Ephraimites in America than it is in Puerto Rico, population-wise. That's just showing how fruitful they are. Verse 27. Benjamin shall raven as a wolf.
Right, so Benjamin.
Then they read that their bows shall reach unto.
Yeah.
That's talking about them coming over here. Yeah, it's like that's talking about the so-called Puerto Ricans coming over into Americas, and it's gotten so much of so that you don't even need a passport to go to Puerto Rico anymore. You can just go. It's not like going to Brazil or say I believe Mexico you need a passport. Yes. Europe, you know what I'm saying? You don't need a passport for Puerto Rico. That's how much they both stretched over into America.
So getting into Benjamin, Benjamin is Banyamyan, which means son of the right, which are your West Indies. Your so-called Jamaicans. Those from the Caribbeans. And it says that they shall raven as a wolf. Now, when you get into Benjamin's music, the reggae music and things like that, they talk about Babylon coming down. They talk about the Lion of Judah. They have prophetic music, and so that's likened to like when a wolf howls to call the rest of the pack unto them, or they howl when they're about to go hunt. And that's showing through their music that the end of this kingdom is close.
In the morning he shall devour the prey. At the night he shall divide the spoil. All these are the 12 tribes of Israel, and this is it. And this is it that their fathers spake unto them and blessed them, everyone according to his blessing. He blessed them.
God. Now, Uncle Rashad, can you get Revelations chapter 7, verse 4? Because in this chapter it said that we're waiting on the salvation. And we're gonna grab this scripture real fast.
This is Revelation chapter 7, verse 4. And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel. Of the tribe of Judah were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Reuben were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Gad were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Asher were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Nephthalim were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Manasseh were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Simeon were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Levi were still 12,000. Of the tribe of Issachar were still 12,000. Of the tribe of Zebulun were still 12,000. Of the tribe of Joseph were still 12,000. Of the tribe of Benjamin were still 12,000.
Right, that makes 144,000. This is the elect of the nation of Israel that the Lord is going to come back and save. And you have the elect, the elect 144,000, and then you have you read in Zechariah 13.
This is Zechariah chapter 13 and verse 8. It says, "And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein."
God, so 1/3, so 144,000 and 1/3 of the nation of Israel, the Lord Yahweh through YAHAWASHI is going to come back and save, and 2/3 of our people won't be saved in the coming destruction of this place, you know, and so that's why we're fighting, you know, we're coming out here, we're preaching this truth to bring in the elect of the people on this sign. If Babu Shah, can we grab Numbers 1, where it talks about the pedigree?
Yeah, we gonna cut it off.
Okay, but
the whole point is I want to clarify something as well, is that the 144,000 is the prophets, and the elect, innumerable multitudes, men, women, children that follow the truth. Okay, really, ultimately, it's just going to be the 1/3 versus 2/3. The elect are the ones that, you know, endure the truth, sincerity, and the prophets are the ones that's, you know, teaching. And you go to forget, I believe it was Elias, or one of the 2 prophets. You know, their names sound similar, but he said, you know, he felt alone. He said, the Lord told him he had 7,000 that have never bowed their knee to the image of Baal. It's just talking about all the prophets. You know, and the spirit of the prophets is subject unto the prophets. All right? And the prophets are coming to prophesy the downfall of Babylon, and that which is what we're doing. Okay? So with that being said, man, let's get to it. I want to go into Revelation chapter 9 this weekend, man.
This is Revelation chapter 9 and verse 1. And the 5th angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven unto the earth. And to him was given the key of the bottomless pit.
Yeah, that star is Kaiser Wilhelm. Okay? Now, the thing is that, you know, you got Dogma, you got Esau. Let's get that precept when Paul said, you know, they preach another gospel, which is not another. You know, because what's happening is that from our own people and ultimately to Esau, they're mangling scriptures and breaking them down incorrectly. And most people are doing it purposefully. Okay, they create lies and incorporate it into the gospel. All right, because the reason why I'm bringing this out is because people think that this is correlated to hell, which it is not. It is mainly talking about World War I. Okay.
This is Galatians chapter 1 verse 6. I marvel that ye are so soon removed from him that called you into the grace of Hamashiach unto another gospel, which is not another, but there be some that trouble you and will pervert the gospel of Hamashiach.
Yeah, and that's what's going on when they talk about this hell doctrine. It goes back to Dante's Inferno. You know, the image of the Lord. All this is to because the scriptures are powerful and they can sway you. You know what I'm saying? Just like a boy said on the book of Eli, I need that book, man, to control the people.
Yeah.
Okay? So Esau, you know, going into 2nd Maccabees, wherein the heathen sought to paint the likeness of the images. It wasn't just because, oh, I want to be in this book. It's a control thing. Okay? If you control the narrative, you know what I'm saying, you could keep people docile for the most part. Okay? And you can paint yourself as the children of the Most High. That's why undoubtedly people just accept that those Amalekites up in the land of Jerusalem and land of Israel are the true children of Israel, which they are not. Again, they are the Amalekites, they're the biblical Amalekites, which which is of the tribe of Edom. Okay, but through all the lies and hypocrisy, even when we were talking about the angel from the bottomless pit, Kaiser Wilhelm, okay, the origins of propaganda started to pretty much destroy him, destroy his image. And the people who wanted to destroy his image was Great Britain. Okay? And Great Britain goes back to one of the 7 heads that was wounded unto, it was specifically the 7th head that was wounded unto death. Okay? Because that one of those 7 heads, or that head that was wounded unto death, is Great Britain, and it goes back to Rome. Okay? Rome, Britain came out of Rome. All right? And pretty much they pretty much transitioned from Rome to Great Britain to America. Okay? And America is the whore that rideth on the back of the dragon. All right?
Get back in Revelation.
Yep.
It's Revelation 9 verse 2. And he opened the bottomless pit, and there arose a smoke out of the pit.
Yeah, and some people believe that, like I was watching this movie, I like the thing like the Devil's Conspiracy. It's a little like action drama movie where they're they're utilizing, like, they're trying to bring up the concept of hell and everything. I seen the other day, somebody was saying, where is heaven, and who goes? Everybody goes to heaven. All right. Let's get that in the book of Ecclesiastes. Okay. Where it says that what? Y'all shall return to the dust, and all spirits shall return to the Most High who gave it. All right. There is no hell. Hell is a grave or a condition. Okay. That's when it said, because once you say that, everything connects. Just like hell is a place that how they make it. Hell is a place of no return, where you'll burn forever. That's BS, man. Matter of fact, let's get the concept of hell. Okay, somebody can look it up via Google.
You want that Ecclesiastes?
Yeah.
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 20. All go unto one place, all are of the dust, and all turn to dust again.
Yeah, all go into one place. All of the dust. That's why our body is made of the minerals of the earth. Okay? Most of these minerals that are in the earth are in our body. All right? Iron, magnesium, copper, all these elements. All right? Even into the most minute and poisonous ones. Okay? Go ahead.
Yeah, this is
No, you can finish that real quick.
Okay, God. It says on verse 21, who knoweth the spirit of man that goeth upward, and the spirit of the beast that goeth downward to the earth?
Yep, so all spirits go to the Most High who gave it. All right? So you go ahead, brother.
This is the concept of hell. It says hell in many religious traditions, the abode, usually beneath the earth, of the unredeemed dead or the spirits of the damned.
You see, the unredeemed dead. But then YAHAWASHI take the keys and went to hell for 3 days. Okay? Let's get that. Okay? It says the unredeemed dead. That means you can't be bought back. That means you can't come back from that place based off of what they're saying. But based off of what we say and what the scriptures say, it all makes sense. Hell is a condition and a grave. Okay? When you're buried or you're put in a tomb, that's considered hell. When you're going through a lot of affliction, that's considered hell. Okay?
I got something real quick.
I want that precept with YAHAWASHI going to the grave for 3 days.
This is Matthew chapter 12, verse 40. It says, for as Jonah was 3 days and 3 nights in the whale's belly, so shall the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth.
Yeah, and they try to take that concept and say that he went to hell with the keys and defeated Satan. all right, and got the keys to pretty much decide who goes to heaven. No, that's not it. Okay? When he got the keys, there was the keys of pretty much the judgment, man. All right? To decide to redeem Israel, man. Okay? He got the override keys, for lack of better words. All right? The keys of judgment to say, you can't make it, you can make it, you can't make it, you can make it. All right? That's the keys that the Lord has. And we don't have those keys yet. That's why we can't sit here and tell anybody who can and can't make it. Okay? But, you know, we are like, stewards to the keys, to where we have a good idea and we can lead you in a direction, but we ultimately can't walk up like YAHAWASHI walk up to the tree and tell a tree to die. We can't walk up to, because angels, and we have to bid the Lord. We have to call on the Lord so he can open certain doors. All right? But once we get these new bodies, we're going to have that same ability, okay, to do the same thing. All right? But right now, the Lord ultimately has the keys, and we call upon him, and through him, he opens those doors. Okay? Got more of that? All right, let's get back into Revelation, Baba Shah.
Back in Revelation.
You got more of that concept of hell?
Yeah.
More of that?
Yeah. So I looked up Hades, and it says Hades is an ancient Greek religion, god of the underworld.
Yeah, ancient Greek religion. And that's why you have to do your studies, because a lot of these concepts were merged in through Constantine. All right, Constantine the Great, because he incorporated the Holy Roman Empire. But in order to do so, he had to adapt pagan laws, because that'll be a cold turkey type of a transition for people who were pagan. All right, and that's not an easy, you just jump up out the blue. That's like, Trump is coming and saying, well, the new religion of the land is Islam. You can't just do that. So you got to incorporate certain days. Like, we're going to incorporate Ramadan. We're going to cancel pork. We're going to slowly do it for this holiday for health. And they'll say it for that reason. And then, so that's the type of idea that, if you extrapolate, that's what Constantine did, because he couldn't just jump into from paganism to Christianity, because it'll create an uproar. Okay? So then he incorporated both, which is why you got Easter, that's synonymous, a bunny rabbit, that's synonymous with the birth of YAHAWASHI. All right? Which is actually the Passover. It's not Easter. Because the Bible, within the Bible, it tells you. It says, let's look that up. Let's go get that. It tells you that the word Easter is in the scriptures, but when you go into the precepts, some Bibles have them, I believe, not the etymology, but the lexicon has, and it says the Passover there. But what does a rabbit has to do with it? No, that's Egypt. That goes back to Babylon with Semiramis and Tammuz. Okay? Egypt with was that Cyrus and Horus, I believe, when the Pharaoh died, and they chopped his body parts off and spread it across the earth, and then they graft all the body parts back together, and they found everything but his rod, and so they put a golden phallus onto him. So all those body parts being spread across the earth, that's why kids go Easter egg hunting, okay? Because they're commemorating that God, all right? But then they'll tell you that it's Jesus' birthday, okay? Which, first off, his name is not Jesus, YAHAWASHI, all right? And that is, the Passover is the day of his birth, okay? But then, or this death day, let's correct that, because they'll say that's the day that he rose again and all that, which is true. But if you know the scriptures, you'll know he was born. He was born and he died on the same day, which is the Passover. All right, because when he was in that manger, they couldn't find any room because of the Passover. All right, So December is the 25th, which is Christmas, which is a pagan holiday going back to Bacchus and reveling. All right, that's celebrated, and it tells you in the scriptures. Let's get that. All right. I just want the Easter. Let's get that with the they fasten the tree.
You just want the definition of Easter?
Nah, just get the verse and then we're gonna go into the definition. I don't want to just get the definition because they won't know.
Right.
You know.
Okay. Acts chapter 12, verse 3. And because he saw it pleased the Jews, he proceeded further to take Peter also. Then were the days of unleavened bread. And when he had apprehended him,
You hear that? Then were the days of the unleavened bread. The unleavened bread is synonymous with what? The Passover. Okay?
and when he had apprehended him, he put him in prison and delivered him to 4 quaternions of soldiers to keep him in, intending after Easter to bring him forth to the people.
Yeah. So they say, and that's Esau, man. And this is the thing. The Bible is not an inaccurate book. It just was mistranslated. All right? Like the word God, sometimes you get Allah, Allahayim, get angels, gods, lords, you say? Messengers, you know what I'm saying? Which is lords ultimately, you know?
Also, in the blue letter, in the NLT, it says Passover. And then, you know, KJV, it says Easter. So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so Salaki, because I want to say this, because Jake always saying, oh, Bible's written by man, it was translated so many times. Well, just go back to the root, okay? Just go back to the Torah. Or, not. Well, this is New Testament, just get your New Testament Hebrew Bible, okay? It's not a hard thing to do. That's just like, if I'm sitting like how fighters do, when you got you in America, then you got a fighter from Russia, then you have a translator, and then you have the interviewer. You know, that translation ain't all the way, he ain't say everything that person said all the time. Yeah, they gave you the gist. Which is like not inaccurate, but if you go to the root of it, you'll get everything off of it. Because I like to go to comments when I'm watching fights and I see the end and you'll see somebody Hispanic and say, he didn't say that. He said this, and you can tell they try to make it PG type of thing. Okay? He'll probably say, you know, I'm doing this for my country. I don't want to do this for that country. And he'll say, I do this for my people, and then leave the other part out. Because they don't want, you know, any type of riffs or anything like that. You know? So it's the same thing with Esau when he, you know, King James translated the Bible and he used the English language, which is a bastard language, because it takes German, Latin, Greek, Hebrew, you know what I'm saying? Hebrew, Latin, you know what I'm saying? It takes all those languages and it groups them together. Okay? When you go into words like the word math is a Hebrew word. It means truth. All right? But math is correlated with numbers. That's why they made it into that word truth. A lot of pharmaceutical words like Tylenol, it's a Latin word. It's just that is the end of that word. They shorten it up because it's like a long ass word, man. All right?
I got something about this. This is from the prologue in Sirach chapter 1. Starting in the middle, it says, "Wherefore let me entreat you to read it with favor and attention, and pardon us, wherein we may seem to come short of some words, which we have labored to interpret. For the same things uttered in Hebrew and translated into another tongue have not the same force in them, and not only these, but the law itself and the prophets and the rest of the books have no small difference when they are spoken in their own language."
Yeah, so it becomes more potent. All right? Because it pretty much, there is no other way around it. When it says, that when you go into Genesis chapter 1, when it says, and God created the heaven and the earth, a person would think that's the Most High, but when you go into the Hebrew, it's Allahayim, which translate angels, plural, gods, plural, or angels. When you say, so if I say God and God created the heaven and the earth, that can mean one thing, but if I translate it properly, it says, and the angels created the heaven and the earth,
now it's going to raise questions. Okay, now it's going to give understanding that the Most High is the blueprint designer, and he had the YAHAWASHI, the blueprint designer. The Most High is a person that orchestrated the idea. I want to create a planet. I want to make people on this planet. And then YAHAWASHI said, okay, set the angels out to do it. They came back and showed him the result, and he said, what? And this is good. Okay? But, if you read in the English, you will never understand that. But then when that happens, Esau will come in and just say it, and they'll bring their own theory to it. Okay? Which is all total BS. All right? So let's get back to Revelations 9, because we got to get back to the bottomless pit. No.
This is Revelation chapter 9, verse 2. And he opened the bottomless pit, and there arose a smoke out of the pit, as the smoke of a great furnace.
Yeah, and that bottomless pit is talking about Europe. Why is Europe called the bottomless pit? It's because it's unfertile soil. And it's due to a lot of rain, and mainly water erosion and soil erosion. Because it rains so much that the dirt doesn't get to settle. It pretty much keep moving all the topsoil. And now you're dealing with the soil that's underneath. Okay? And that's the reason why it is considered the bottomless pit, because it's a useless pit. Let's get the precept where in Ezra, when he said, he have made us one pit, man. Okay?
Second Ezra chapter 5, and I'll start at verse 23. It says, and said, O Lord, that bearest rule of every wood of the earth, and all the trees thereof, that has chosen thee only one vine, and of all the lands of the whole world, that has chosen thee one pit.
Yeah, that one pit is talking about, in this verse in particular, talking about the land of Israel. Okay? The Lord chose that land. But this just proves that the pit is correlated with a land. All right? Not a place in the core of the earth. Okay?
And of all the flowers thereof, one lily.
Yep.
So back in Revelation 9, verse 2, it says, and the sun and the air were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit.
Yeah, so pretty much it was a lot of destruction, a lot of bloodshed, a lot of war. And ultimately, that war, it was a lot going on during I believe the Black Hand, dealing with that assassination of the Austrian cat, you know what I'm saying, which is pretty much a rebellious group. But that rebellious group was, set up. I studied a while ago, I believe it was Hungary, but it's like it has to do with Turkey and all that, and dealing with how, the British were colonizing them and messing them over, okay? And they pretty much was trying to fight back, the same way that they, with ISIS and what's the new group that they got? What's Hamas? So it's the same concept, but ultimately a lot of these dudes are paid mercenaries, all right, to agitate and to start wars. Because even when you go into like Kaiser Wilhelm II, a lot of that Queen Victoria, Kaiser Wilhelm was related to Russia, Britain, and Germany. All of them were cousins as rulers. Okay, not just like country cousins. The people that were ruling were cousins via through Queen Victoria's marriage and setting it up. She just couldn't hypothetically control Kaiser Wilhelm. Okay, because you had Edward. Edward was beefing with Kaiser Wilhelm. All right, because he was into just pretty much fucking off, man. He was go on a trip to learn something, and he'd get caught up in adultery or having a baby by a mistress and all that, man. All right, he was all into enjoying life. All right, which shows that they had, the same way with the Hasmonean dynasty and the Herodians, how Antigonus pushed all his people in there. It's the same. It's the same. Nothing is new under the sun, man. All right. So Queen Victoria had all these guys implemented, man. Pretty much puppet leaders. Okay. She just couldn't control Kaiser Wilhelm. And why did they ultimately end up going to war? Because Germany's productive economic production was increasing.
Yeah.
He doubled his navy with the idea of getting more transport of goods, because India was the mecca of resources. Okay? Because Europe could not produce resources because they're the bottomless pit. All right? But you got the East Indian Trading Company. All right? Which we were talking about that last week, and they have a bunch of other ones, man. So ultimately, even until this time, all this propaganda and we got to go for war on peace. It is not war on peace. It's war for resources. Okay? And the last ultimate war for resources will be the human race. All right, via through the MO to the T to the B. All right, which is the number of man 666, which is the RFID here. Okay? They're trying to ultimately get control of people, which is the ultimate resource. All right? Because you're not going to need India if you own everybody. You could just ship everybody to India and make them work and pull the resources to you. Hell, you can go on an island made of brick and have them just keep shipping stuff to you, and you can live just fine. All right? Look at Saudi Arabia and all these other lands, man. Building whole cities in deserts, man. Okay? That's why they go into GMOs. They learn their lesson in history, man. Okay?
So back in Revelation 9:3, and there came out of the smoke locusts upon the earth, and unto them was given power.
And that power, the locust is talking about those fighter planes. Okay? And those fighter planes, they made a lot of noises because the mufflers existed, but mufflers put on planes wasn't in existence yet. I forget there was a female that created the muffler for the airplanes, man. And that happened after World War I. All right, but mufflers in itself did exist during World War I. All right, and that's why they made a lot of noise and a lot of buzzing noises. Okay.
Says, and unto them was given power, as the scorpions of the earth have power.
Yeah, so, and it's not talking about crops. It's talking about the scorpions were there to consume the people. Okay? Go ahead.
And it was commanded them that they should not hurt the grass of the earth, neither any green thing, neither any tree.
Yeah, ultimately the elect, or there's, even on top of that, there's some people that were meant to make it to get out. But mainly it's the elect, because you had Jake that to join those armies, which is another catalyst to how we spread across the four corners of the earth. Okay, Vietnam. That's why it's a lot of Jake in Thailand. In those areas because of those wars. All right, Jake went over in those wars fighting Esau's wars, but while they was over there, they was spreading their seeds. But when they went over there, man, they had a lot of near-death experiences, man, that they shouldn't have made it out. All right, that was ultimately the Lord protecting Jake from death, man. All right.
It says, but only those men which have not the seal of the Most High in their foreheads.
Yeah. All right, the ones that aren't chosen, because the Lord chose the elect before the foundation of the earth. All right, let's get that in 2nd Ezra. All right, the Lord had chosen who. Hey, this thing is already written, man. All right. The elect was chosen before Adam and Eve. Think about that. Second Ezra 9, got it, brother?
This is Second Ezra 9 and 7. It says, and everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith whereby ye have believed shall be preserved from the said perils and shall see my salvation in my land and within my borders, for I have sanctified them for me from the beginning.
See, he sanctified them for himself, the elect. Abaratazai, we're amongst the elect. That's why we consider ourselves the hopeful elect. He sanctified the elect from the beginning. All right, all this is already written, okay? Which is another thing, that another dogma that is disproved, that you got free will. Okay, the Lord allows the idea of free will, but your spirit is ultimately going to choose right or wrong. All right, and then the ministering angels are going to, like, how's there free will if the Lord, tell Jonah to go to Nineveh and he say no, and the Lord make him go to Nineveh anyway? Okay, that's proof there is no free will. All right.
So back in Revelation, chapter 9, verse 5.
And like I said, I said earlier, the spirit of the prophets is subject unto the prophets through the scriptures. So how is that free will? A prophet can say, you know what, I'm going to be a prophet today. Right. You know?
So Revelation 9, verse 5. And to them it was given that they should not kill them, but that they should be tormented 5 months.
Yeah, and that's 5 years. That was the length of the war. Okay?
And their torment was as the torment of a scorpion when he striketh the man.
Yeah, and that torment, like, people were coming back one leg, half a head, messed up. You know what I'm saying? PSD, all kind of ailments they were coming back with from that war, man. A bunch of people died in that war, man. Millions, man. Okay?
And in those days shall men seek death and shall not find it.
Yeah. Like you ain't got no leg, like Private Dan or what's the nigga name?
Lieutenant Dan?
Lieutenant Dan, man. He was trying to kill himself, man, if I believe so.
Mm-hmm.
And he just couldn't get it done because he wasn't physically able. And let's get that precept. In Sirach, when it says, the things I hate, a man of war that suffered poverty, man. That showed the wickedness of Esau. And again, this whole World War I was pretty much so a country wouldn't be able to be an economic power to measure up to Great Britain. Okay? Where everybody want to fly flags. And then Great Britain was doing some old illegal stuff. They'll take their ships, because that's how they got America involved. Great Britain was riding around in so-called like fisher ships, regular ships flying one flag, and then they'll lower that flag and then raise their flag, which is illegal. Yeah, that's an illegal war act. All right, you're not supposed to do that. All right.
Right.
Yep, and that's how they got America involved, because they'll fly one flag and then they flew another flag, and then they got America. They so-called had Americans on that ship. I don't know if it's true or not, but because at the end of the day, you will ask yourself, well, why they got to do all this? Why don't they just do it? Because of the people. The way they set their government up, it's more of a democracy. It's more of, if you could get the people involved and get the people wanting to chant for this war, which is how they got Kaiser Wilhelm out of the equation and got him exiled. Because the people, they put so much propaganda against him that he just left, man. And then when he left, he was just like, he did it because he didn't want to keep the war going, man. He was sending telegrams trying to stop the war. The telegram would never get there. He asked the war started because he asked to pass through Belgium, and Great Britain said it was okay, and then they lied and said, nah, we ain't never say that. and say, well, we're gonna, for y'all, pretty much y'all, for y'all going through Belgium, that's an act of war. We're gonna start war with you.
They invaded the country.
Yep.
Sirach chapter 26, verse 28. There be two things that grieve my heart, and the third making me angry. A man of war that suffereth poverty, and men of understanding that are not set by, and one that returneth from righteousness to sin.
Yeah, so a man of war that suffered poverty, man. All right, and a lot of these, especially Jake, man, they go and fight these wars, man. It was promised 40 acres and a mule and all that other stuff, man. Or there was promised loans for houses. You know what I'm saying? There was promised with the Civil War, there was promised freedom. Okay? And Jake still didn't get that, man. There's always like a catch-22 to whatever they did, man. All right? They might give you freedom, but you getting persecuted from the KKK and all this, and they're not treating you accordingly. Jake went there and fought them wars, came back expecting to get an easy loan for a house, and it was only giving it to Esau. All right? And then you'll get Esau talking about, well, why don't y'all work? Y'all talk about the American dream, pretty much work, hustle your ass off, build your money up, buy a house and a car, take care of your family, you know, become something great by your hard work. But Esau always have a catch-22. They'll say everybody could get a loan, but he got to approve it. Okay? And he'll disprove that loan, even though Jake went over there and fought that war on the fucking front line for him, man. All right? The red tails and all that, man. Okay?
Hey, and they showed you on Falcon and the Winter Soldier when he went to try to go get a loan for his house. You know, he fought, say, the whole universe. And he went to go get a loan to save his parents' house, and they wouldn't give it to him.
Yep. And that's how it is. But Esau give it to his own. Then they'll say, well, hey, you know, fair is fair.
They exist.
All right? They sat there and like, if you take a generation, take a generation of people and don't allow them to read, and then all of a sudden let them start reading, and because you say, well, everybody can read, no, you got a head start, man. Y'all created a credit system, kept Jake in the dark about it, and then you ate all you can eat, pretty much got all, that's like, it reminds me of the movie, man, I forget the name of it. It was like Levels. And it was a plate of food that it kept going from level to level to level to level. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And the rich, when it was the table was a table full of food, and when the rich had it, it's a fresh platform. The rich had it. It was the plate was the table was like a banquet, but they'll eat it and they're partying, then they'll let it go down a level. So pretty much as you get down to them levels, man, you're getting the scraps, man. You're getting bone, you're getting food that's thrown up. And these people had to survive, so they're getting the best way they knew how, man. You know? And that's how Esau did it, through all his systems. He had the first dibs to everything, man. To all the businesses, all the patents and ideas and, you know, houses. They got houses for probably like $50,000, $30,000. Now Jake is in the loop. Now you gotta spend $150,000 when I was trying to get a home, it was like $150,000 for like a 3-bedroom garage. Now it's like $250,000, $300,000. All right, so it's not the same as it was back then. All right, so imagine Esau's getting all these houses and deals for pennies on a dollar. And then now they say, okay, everybody can do it. Well, there's no room. There's supply and demand. Everybody can sell something. You just got to grow it. But you got all the fertile land. Okay? That's how Esau do his thing. And he pushes it as everybody's invited. You know? You just got to hustle your ass off like I did. Like my grandfathers. All that dumbass BS, you know, like Drew Brees said, man, my father fought in the war. But it's not the same for Jake, man. All right, there's economic oppression and systematic racism going on. Okay?
Hey, to revisit a point that you made earlier, going back to the 1600s and 1700s. You had white folk getting rich off the stock market back then in Europe and all these other places around the world off the East India Trade Company. And we just now finding out about stocks and crypto and stuff like that.
Like Robin Hood just came out. You couldn't go into the Jake had the resources to go and fly to Manhattan and go to the stock market. Like you have to go, like everybody, how they set it up, everybody really do have a chance. You just have to, as a Jake, you got to go above and beyond just to get your foot in the door. When you're an Edomite, you already know. You know the role, everything's set up. They be having trust funds, their colleges is already set up. They know how college work. They're programmed to be successful in society, and we're figuring it out. Okay? That's like me being my dad was a carpenter, his dad was a carpenter, his dad was a carpenter. So when I go to be a carpenter, it's not gonna be as difficult. But compared to a dude that's never done it, you know, if my dad was a carpenter and my dad's dad, me going to take a test is nowhere near as hard as a person that don't know nothing about. He's just figuring out length times width times height.
Right.
He's just finding out about centimeters and inches and weights and circumferences. So now he got to remember all and compared to a dude that grew up in that environment, man. All right. But they'll say everybody got a chance. They'll open the door for everybody, but the road there ain't meant for everybody, man. Okay?
Like I was saying the other day, it's like, here it is, you go to an interview, you gotta be professional in an interview, and you get the job. And the job is not professional. And who's at the top? Who's the CEO? Who's the managers? Who's the supervisors mostly? It's Esau. Unprofessional as hell.
They all, and if you see a Jake manager, it's always a taskmaster. He's always a guy that got to pull up and check everybody because he got to go above and beyond to have his job. Esau could just tell him, yeah, and you're gonna be on equal levels, man. Go tell such and such is going through. You know, like hell no, man. But Esau, that's how he do it. He act like he worked tooth and nail. This is different. I'll be at the job working. I'll be like, I see Edomites working hard, but they know, like, if I work like this, someday I'm gonna be in this position. When Jake worked like that, they're gonna be like, oh, well, I'm gonna add more onto you. Well, how about you do this, this, and that? And then when you mess up, it's like, well, yeah, that's why you ain't meant to be up here. You know, right. So they play that type of game within their system, man. Okay? That's why you got, like, you know, your Tom Brady's and like Warren Moon and Michael Vick. They're not. Michael Vick make a mistake, it's over with. Then Roethlisberger raped a woman in a bathroom. He's still like a great quarterback. You know.
Hall of Fame.
What's your boy Hunt? You know, another dude, Ray Rice. You know what I'm saying? But they had that kicker on. Beating his woman, man.
Yep.
Nothing happened. Nobody even know I don't know the nigga name. You know? Like Patrice O'Neal, man. Like you said, man. They had some Jake, you know, that capsized overseas. Say they went over to the shore and looked for 8 minutes. They just went to the shoreline like we can't find them.
That's it.
But Natty Holloway, they was all over, deep diving, searching, man. But they'll say we search for both, right? Yeah. It's not the same search, but that's how Esau plays semantics with his laws and his words, man. Okay.
All right. We said, what's the other girl that we're missing? Yeah, exactly. You don't know her name.
Yeah, you don't know her name, man. Something goofy like. You know, but you get back to Revelation.
It's Revelation chapter 9 and verse 6. It says, and in those days, men shall seek death and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them.
Yeah, they couldn't kill themselves even if they wanted to, dealing with that, you know, the injuries during the World War, man. All right.
And the shapes of the locusts were like unto horses prepared unto battle, and on their heads were as it were crowns like gold, and their faces were as the faces of men.
Yeah, it's because it was actually men flying those planes, and they had their helmets. Okay.
And they had hair as the hair of women, and their teeth were like as the teeth of lions.
Yeah, because they, even with the airplanes, they used to actually paint teeth on the planes, man. All right. And then the hair, it's talking about they have the scarf, so they have the actual jaw popping out the helmet, actual hair type of deal popping out the helmet. Okay. And the main thing that was utilized in those wars was those airplanes, man. That was a main factor in those wars. A lot of bombing and a lot of air fights, man. Okay.
And they had breastplates, as it were breastplates of iron.
Yeah, so these weren't actual locusts with all these abilities. Okay? And you rarely hear the Christian church talk about these locusts because they can't explain that, man. Breastplates of iron. They can't just, they're too superficial. The spirit ain't working with them, to be honest. So you got no choice but to be superficial if the spirit ain't working with you. So you're going to read locusts, you're going to be like, man, you know, I don't know locusts with breastplates of iron and teeth, you know, but they try to make it, man, I forgot this movie, The Mist. The Mist, they try to reenact the animals, man. Nah, man, ain't going to be like that.
Big. And the sound of their wings was as the sound of chariots of many horses running to battle.
Yeah, and that goes back to what I was saying originally, that they didn't have the mufflers on the airplane, so they made a big buzzing sound, and they flew in large formations. Okay?
And they had tails like unto scorpions.
Yeah, why did they have the tails unto scorpions? Because they shot, they had guns attached to the back as well. They had a dude, because they had one dude in the front, one dude in the back.
Yeah.
You know? And those were those stingers.
And there were stings in their tails.
Yep.
And their power was to hurt men 5 months. And they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in the Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue had this name Apollyon.
Yeah, let's get that word Apollyon. That king and that angel of the bottomless pit, again, it was Kaiser Wilhelm. And the Lord put the spirit on him. And of course, they said, oh, they try to use propaganda to say that he was trying to pretty much take over the world. But Great Britain was doing that. So what's the difference between Germany and Great Britain? Because both of them were doing it so-called doing it at the same time. Okay?
Yeah, Esau been doing it for centuries. Starting with the Portuguese, the Spanish, the Dutch, all right, the French, and then ultimately, like your brother was going into, the British took over and owned half the fucking world. India, Australia, fucking the Americas.
Africa.
Come on.
That's why a lot of these Nigerians are so loyal to England, man. Because of colonization. America, you know, was Great Britain's.
Egypt.
Yep. All right. But they worried about Germany. But that's what it was, because the same thing they did with Iran and enriching uranium. Y'all got missiles. How y'all gonna tell them they can't have it and y'all have it? They use propaganda. Oh, we can't trust them. You create a group and say that's their group. Look at what they're capable of. But y'all got the CIA. Okay? Going into other countries, Puerto Rico, the Bay of Pigs, you know what I'm saying? Fast and Furious in Mexico. Okay? All these documents that are being released showing how they're going and messing with countries, man. Okay? But this war was a battle of resources, man. Really, who's going to be economically on top. All right?
The blue letter.
And I forgot what it's called. It wasn't the EU. but they had a league then.
The EEC, European Economic Committee, or something like that.
I don't know. If you don't know for sure, just look it up. But you know what I'm saying? I don't want to be taking 80 wild guesses. But there was a league then with Esau that they had. And I believe it was between, I think it was like Japan, Russia, and Great Britain or something like that. You know? And I think America was involved with it. Not too sure. But they had a league back then. Okay? And that league, pretty much, they were encamping in Germany, man. You know, Italy, getting in league with Italy. You know, like them assassinating that Austrian dude. They knew that Germany would have to get involved because they were allied to Germany.
Yep.
And if Germany was set back, then that would have made Austria join leagues with the Ottoman. So they knew that that'll draw them out into fighting in a necessary situation that they didn't want to fight. All right, because you know it's like you economically building up. Like I play this game like World Civilization. You could be working on your building and building something, and it takes like 50 turns, but then you'll see an army come up every step, and like you have to cancel that and start building an army up. So it's like that same type of concept. Or you trying to build naval vessels and routes and all that, you know what I'm saying, and canals, and you're trying to get to India, I'm about to make you have to start fighting. So now you got to work on building guns and all that, and stop building economic alignments and all that. Okay?
You still want that word Apollyon, right?
Yeah.
No, in the blue letter, the word Apollyon, it says destroyer, the angel of the bottomless pit, the destroyer.
Yep. Because ultimately, Germany was the catalyst to World War III. But you can see how that propaganda, like you hear about Germany, and you just would hate, like, damn man, these people are bad. But the Klan came from Germany, right? So-called, well, 9 times out of 10 they did, right? But where's the Klan now? Where did the Klan start at? All right, in America. All right, if y'all so anti-German, why y'all don't go hard? How y'all went on the Germans? Why y'all don't go hard on the Ku Klux Klan? They're from the same stock, you know? But you'll sit there and let them exist. That's like letting ISIS exist here. You know, ISIS is really getting out, having ISIS rallies, and you're saying, well, they have a permit. Okay, that's BS, man. Again, why do America or Esau get to do it and all these other countries don't? Because it shows you it's propaganda. They know how to demonize one side, and then they're doing it on the other side. It's a scapegoat. Okay?
It's that Cowboys and Indians theory, so to speak, that the Cowboys were the good ones and the Indians were the bad guys. But if they but really, and when you break it down, it's obviously reversed. And it's the same thing with the brothers going into. Germany was trying to stop the war, and everybody else was trying to propagate the war, but Germany's looked at the bad guy. So if you make somebody the bad guy, everyone's going to hate on the bad guy.
Yeah. Oh, that was into that word. This is it says one woe is past.
Yeah, and that's the World War I. Okay?
And behold, there come 2 woes more hereafter.
Yeah, that's World War II, which already passed, and then World War III, which is yet to come. And that's what we're prophesying about. It's World War III. All right? Which is going to be, let's get that, where it says, I believe in Jeremiah, screaming and fighting, but this one is flaming through a fire.
Isaiah chapter 9, verse 5. For every battle of the warriors with confused noise.
Yeah, everybody, swords playing, running and all that. All right.
And garments rolled in blood. But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire.
Yep, that's going to be World War III. Burning and fuel of fire. Thermonuclear missiles. Okay? And another thing, because when you're talking about Kaiser Wilhelm in that war, they pretty much, remember, Kaiser Wilhelm was building a naval base, and they was trying to build they was trying to make, I think they were trying to make a deal with Great Britain, or they was trying to fight them early. One of the dudes said fight them early because they're going to try to blockade them and control their resources, and that's what Great Britain did, and ultimately starved out Germany, man. They said like 80% of those people went down in weight. You know, they were like they pretty much starved them out, and like 14 to 13% of them died off because of starvation, man. All right, but y'all all about peace and trying to bring peace to the world. No, it's all about resources. Y'all don't want nobody to advance over you. And right now, it's not like it's America or somebody advancing over Great Britain. No, it's like the UAE or Russia advancing over the NATO and EU. They're going to protect the NATO and the EU. Is the new, that's the beast, okay, that the Bible speaks of. But that's the united power of all these nations, man. Okay.
And the sixth angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the four horns of the golden altar, which is before the Most High, saying to the sixth angel which had the trumpet, loose the four angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates. And the four angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year for to slay the third part of men.
Yeah, so ultimately, all this is prophesied, man. All this is meant to go down and happen, and it's all lined up. You know, I just mainly wanted to get the World War I on that. You know, so just get that breakdown. If any brothers want to bring out something, get down. You know, everybody good. That being said, we're gonna give all praises
unto Yahawah, bahasham, YAHAWASHI, bahasham, Rakakwadash.
I want to say double honor to our apostles, to our elders, do well. Blessed citation, you brothers out there teaching and enduring truth sincerity. Shalom.
Shalom.